How's everybody doing today? I hope everyone is well. I'm going to go a little bit different route with this one. The following video is something that I posted maybe a week ago. It's from a discussion that I was a part of with an online group that I'm a member of, and we kick all kind of subject matter around, but this particular one got very serious, and it involved someone anonymously, coming to the group and wanting some insight into an issue that he was dealing with. A young brother was telling us that when he was younger, he was violated by someone in his life that he should have been able to trust. And he ran into this person a few years later, and he didn't really know what to do. So, the comments came flying in, and, I shared some personal things, and other people did as well. But I felt impressed to say something, to make a video, to kind of add some clarity and give people some guidance on how to deal with individuals that may come your way with secrets such as this that are just devastating to hear. But there are good ways, bad ways, and better ways to help people through this process when they come to you. So listen up, pay attention. Video's a few minutes long, but I think it's going to be very insightful. But I also want to say a couple things, and I don't want to belabor this and continue this too much, but some clarity should be given to this whole issue. Number one, obviously, by the response and everything, that this is something that is a lot more common than we really want to admit. I remember I was at a conference about abuse once, and they asked everybody to raise their hand if they knew someone who was a victim of something like this. And then they said, do you know two people? And a lot of the same hands were raised. It's simply a dirty little secret that we don't want to acknowledge, and it's in every community, regardless of ethnicity or the dominant religion in that community. People like to say that this is something that occurs more in the West and not really in this other part of the world, but that's ridiculous. Religious affiliation, geographical location, ethnicity has nothing to do with it. Number two, I'm glad that the brother came forward, because usually we associate this kind of abuse with little girls, and that does happen, and that's probably the overwhelming majority of the cases. But there are a lot of young men and boys that have been victimized like this, and because of how we are as men and the societal pressures and norms that we adhere to without examining, we tend not to feel comfortable talking about this because of fear, or it's not looked at as manly. And I want to say just a couple more things, and then I'll end it. And this doesn't have to be like a new thread, and we don't have to rehash all the comments and everything. I just we just want to put some things out there for support. Number one, if this has happened to you, and I'm sure a lot of folks out there that this has happened to, that have read the discussion and participated in it, don't carry it. Get to someone, talk to someone, get to somebody you trust, get to a professional. Sometimes it's best to go to someone you don't even know, because there's no risk there of rejection or you being ostracized or treated badly. If you want to talk to anybody, you can inbox me. I'm sure you can inbox Nephew. He'll protect your anonymity. There's someone that you can talk to. Get it out. Because traumatic events, especially events of this nature, they're like seeds. And our initial response is to bury them. If we don't have a very supportive community or culture, we'll be forced to bury them. And what happens to seeds when you bury them? It's the worst thing you could do, because they don't stay dormant. When you put them in dirt, the roots go down and the fruit comes up. And you may think that burying this and holding this secret and carrying this burden is the right thing to do, but it's not, because the fruit will come into your life. It will invade how you deal with people. It will invade your relationships. And you won't know how to handle certain things. And there'll be internal conflicts and fears and guilt that you don't have clarity on. You don't know how to deal with them. And they'll have really, really bad repercussions. It'll permeate into your character, into your personality, and the reverberations will be just seismic. It's just not good to hold this stuff. But talking about it is just the first step. You have to acknowledge what happened, talk about it, release yourself from it, and move on from it. You can't move on and get healed if you bury it and you ignore it, because it's going to surface. You're going to have issues getting close to people, trusting people, physical and intimate issues, all those things. You know, you may have an issue with a certain group of people or gender. You know, nothing in life, no matter how horrible it was, nothing in life is worth you becoming a prisoner to it. You were not created to be a prisoner. You were created to be free. And not all prisons, in fact, the worst prisons are the ones without bars. So whatever you got to do to be free, free yourself. Free yourself from that burden. Free yourself from those negative emotions. And, you know, religion and spirituality and prayer is essential, but we are here for one another, to help one another. So get with somebody, get it out, deal with it, and free yourself from it. Don't spend another day wrestling with that. Start the process. The other thing is, if someone comes to you, you know, out of the blue, because this conversation, you know, it's going to be repeated amongst everybody in this group. Someone comes to you and they want to talk to you about this. Don't start getting all crazy and mystical on them. You know, don't tell them stuff like just pray. Of course, they've prayed about it many times. You know, when they close their eyes to sleep and the images replay themselves in their head, or when they saw that person and their heart stopped beating and they got this feeling in their stomach, or when they heard that person's name and they got all nervous and angry. Of course they prayed about it. Don't dismiss people like that. Even if you're not comfortable, make yourself comfortable. Don't allow your community or your culture's discomfort with this subject cause you to remain in prison. That's their problem. It's not yours. You need to be free. So if someone comes to you and they want help, listen to them. Let them get it out. Don't judge them. Listen to them and embrace them. Even if you don't understand what to do, walk with them to someone who can help them. Don't push them away. Don't abandon them. Because I want to say this and then I'm going to end. How you react when that person comes to you, when that person musters the courage to open up and they take that risk to come to you with what happened to them, how you react initially can determine whether that person gets free or not. It can determine whether that person continues on through the process, the journey to freedom, or they just clam up and they bury it again. And that thing continues to ravage their emotions and ravage every relationship they have. We all got a responsibility to one another.